plain study. Thank you for your attention.
I will start. I love this product. I think it's very cool. I can see some challenges, obviously, and this is, you know, you will have one word on one plate, right? What happens in a school when all all the letters get mixed up and so on? How do you keep it functional over a longer period of time? So, you know, once it gets mixed up or it gets put in a big box and then you have to take it out and then you got to figure out. So the color coding might be something that could help with that, right? But the other thing is we talked a little bit about price last time, didn't we?
Price and change your
So the cost of the product is going to be quite low.
So that's the production cost.
Plus, you know, they don't include the price for design.
It's a one-time work. Designers work is a one-time work. So, but we are talking about production.
Have you? And then the other thing for me is. And I think the other thing. The other thing for me is, so how do you scale this? Have you tried this with other languages than English? Because in German it's a Katze. I don't know how you do that with.
It can be done with other foreign languages like Italian, French, German.
Okay. So you played around with that? You tried that? Yeah. Okay.
So your main kind of competence is design. So you guys are designers, right?
Yeah.
But are you also familiar with the market, like online market for cognitive toys or toys? So what's happening, like in terms of digital like advancements in this area?
I got a training Max Blues, so I was always having to do this hard for concrete physical life, because the Ari, the already digital version, that's Ari, I downloaded it, შეიძლება this one, და plus also. Შეგვიძლია ის ვარიანტიც აიღო პლანშეტების ვარიანტში და Android-ის აიღოს გაკეთდეს და შეგვიძლია შეუერთდეთ.
So basically it's two types. One is just a handmade product, like a design, but the company, the auxiliary product is also online. At least that's an idea.
How easy is this to copy for anybody else? I mean, how do you do it? You know that the Lego blocks and the fit of these things is it's all protected and it's very difficult to copy.
Lego შემთხვევაში მოგედით აი რასაც აკეთებენ ის არის ყველაფერი კოპირაიტი ყველაფერი. თქვენ შემთხვევაში რა გაქვთ ამ დაცულია? რა არის დიზაინი თქვენი რა არის საკუთარ დიზაინი არის?
არის პრინციპი. ცხოველისა და სიტყვის შეერთებით. მიიღება, ანუ სწორად გავაკეთებ შემთხვევაში, იღებს ცხოველის ფორმას.
აი ესე გიგავთ. They're saying that basically. Yeah, so maybe you should say something.
The principle is an abstract idea. So it's explicitly excluded for example, this is how to. This is the method of doing something, for example. And this something is so abstract that the principle how
to spell a word with figurine or.
There is nothing technical, so it falls out of the patent protection anyway. But I can see, for example, games, toys are mostly protected by trademark first of all, so the name of the game.
Okay.
And also copyright.
It's a question question. That's what we see on trademark in the context. What's happening?
Because it's a picture. It's a picture. For example, the the form of the T and the C and A, and the total in totality, it's a picture. It's a work of a painter, of an artist. Okay, it can be taken by copyright, but I would tend to. I think you shouldn't compete with the biggest toy companies by production. There should be some model where you just offer the big companies your product shaped, protected by something like that.
So you go to a company like Brio, for instance, that makes wooden toys, and you introduce them to the idea, and then you get a royalty for that.
Sell license.
After trying to give it up, spinning of the tip cover, as a moment she exactly never quentis, big company at Frankfurt, Christian, the Swell, said the negative Martin Congressing. That's why she is here. It's sorry, what I got to without saying check with them, I'm not on this, but license zero, the company.
All right, actually, maybe I speak Georgian. თუ თქვენ რეალურად ესე გამიგოს რა პროექტის განვითარება ესე წარმომოსახებოდა თუ თქვენ გააგრძელებთ მუშაობას ქეთის და კიდევ რა ფიშ და ხო დაამთავრებთ ამ შექმნით 2030 პროგრამისა სახეს რომელიც იქნება დაცული თქვენი მხრიდან და რასთავარი ამ სახესთან ერთად პრინციპი მუშაობის როგორც არის ცხოვრების სახელი გამოხატული. ნუ არის პრინციპი. თქვენ თუ ამას ყველაფერს დაიცავთ, გახსოვთ თქვენ საავტორო უფლებად, შემდეგ ეტაპი შეიძლება იყოს ლაპარაკი დიდ წარმომადგენელ კომპანიებთან.
თუ გახსოვთ
ეს თუნდაც, იმიტომ რომ შვეიცარიაში, ევროპაში, შვეიცარიაში, მსოფლიოში ეს მიღებული და რეგლამენტული ჩვენია ის არის გზა და პროცესია რომ ეს Well, I said actually that if these guys will continue in a way like, to copyright these pictures and the methodology, which is the concept actually. The concept is the letters building up the name of the animal, whatever. So if they will copyright some certain number of the pictures and letters, the pictures, 20, 30, that they prove that it works for the long growth. Not just for 10 or 6 or 7.
Some kind of critical mass.
Critical mass. Portfolio. And then put it in a way that IP right, in terms of IP, to put it, to preserve the rights as much as possible, then they could be good negotiation platform for big manufacturers. And I'm sure that's not a big deal for them because concept is clear. If there is no analog, if you can copyright that for Europe and the Americas and worldwide, it doesn't need initially, maybe Europe will be enough. And then you can get a good negotiation platform with them, and they have a royalty and whatever.
And I also advise you not to limit it to from 5 to 9 years, because this potential for this I see for the disabled children. Very much like first of Georgia.
Like autism.
Excellent, not only with the dyslexic children, but also the children who need, development. And these are very friendly. I don't see here any, that they can harm with this policy. This is very safe policy, safe, and also it's educational. And I think this is very good for the disabled children, for the homes, where organizations like maybe they will need this thing, so they don't limit it to. Because sometimes they are 15 years old, 14 years old children who have no. Peers, by development. So that's, I think, another area that we can use.
Yeah, actually, and one very, very special, I would say, suggestion. We are here. We are not the experts to judge you in terms of this. This is original idea or not. It's hard also to research that on the web. And I've seen many things like that. I've probably seen similar. First thing we should find, or you should spend your time, apart from designing it, to find really if there is something similar. And then, if there is something similar, but this is different, prove that that's different and it's special. This is one point. Authenticity, or let's say original. Either გააგრძელეთ ესა და მეორე. Prove and involve someone, psychologists, I don't know, medical, I don't know, some very competent people in that sphere. that would be very, very good for disabled and progressive. That's 2 points are more than enough, then your design is there.
Yeah.
And the third point is design. It's already enough to convince someone serious, probably.
Yeah.
And
მეორე ესეთი აუცილებლად იმუშავეთ ფსიქოლოგი, ბავშვის თერაპევტი.
it doesn't mean you have to make a great research and the research and again, for pitch, not for big Wikipedia stuff or I don't know, but for pitch, you need a good, essence to put on that it works and it's right thing for design.
By the way, Chef was Waldorf is
Waldorf.
Waldorf-ში.
Okay, Waldorf. Დიდი მადლობა.
Okay, so the next one is a wingman. Salome Dolidze.
Wingman, it actually word by word means someone.
Someone.
Binman.
Wingman means someone.
Someone. Hey, someone.
Question.
Like a garçon.
Oh, let's say,
that's boy.
No, let's say, could someone, or let's say.
It's almost like I need help. Someone.
Yeah.
Someone, yeah.
It's a quote. I mean,
Good afternoon. I'm Salome Dolidze, this is We are from Free University Business Administration students, and we are here to present you a new startup idea called Wingman that refers to a moment we all have time after time when we think, what if somebody did something for us because we don't have time or ability or we're just lazy to do it. So we want to position our brand whenever that thought comes up in your mind, Wingman comes up with it. To give you more specific examples, imagine you have to go from one end of the city to another just to deliver something. Or what if you had a big party coming up and you wanted someone's help to deal with all the mess afterwards? Or your Excel lecturer talks in difficulty and you want someone else to explain solar to you once again. So we offer you a solution, Wingman.com, where you can get people to do this kind of tasks. To talk about business model, it's Facebook plus Upwork kind of marketplace, which layout and design is more similar to social networks, and the idea and concept itself is more similar to Upwork freelancer kind of websites, but it differs from regular employment pages with its simplicity of tasks. To talk about categories, we made it more suitable for Georgian community, and we think that Georgian community likes peer-to-peer marketplaces and crowdsourcing, so we're going to see big opportunities in the future trends. So the categories will be delivery, problem-solving, physical labor, household care, and pet care. We think that delivery will be the mainstream category because we don't have much of a choice in that field in Georgia, so that's where we see our kind of Uber moment. And to talk about customer scenario, when you go to Wingman.com, you have to register with your Facebook account or simply with your email. We won't be asking for billing information at first because that will scare the curious people off. But once you apply for something, that means that we have to know where you want to receive your money. That's the good part. And when you want to post something, that means you realize you have to pay, so there won't be an issue anymore. The task will be anonymous because we think there is no point knowing who wants something to be delivered. That can be confidential. But the task itself is meaningful. Once someone applies for the task, you can see the chat window that pops up on the right side. And then we can see the rating in that specific category given by the previous taskers. Also, the report flag, if necessary, everywhere, and hire button. If we click the hire button, then this task will be deleted from the home thread, and it will remain only between the two of you. So once it is complete, and you both confirm that it's complete, then the transaction happened, and we get our commission 10%. Then to talk about tags, yeah, we're gonna have location, time limit if necessary, and of course the amount of payments. Yeah, we're gonna have a very good reporting system, and we're gonna look into it thoroughly. And to talk about marketing now, yeah, we're gonna meet students at their universities and display it as an money-earning opportunities. Also, we're gonna shoot some easy, funny, relatable, and hypothetical situations about hypothetical videos about the situation that women can solve in one click. And we're going to use Facebook boosting as an advertisement at this stage because our segment is internet friendly. We also respect network economics theory. That means that our idea gets more valuable as many people get involved to it. So we're going to make artificial demand and supply. And when we reach the critical point where the word of mouth starts working, there is no issue for us to worry about how to get people involved, but to worry how to make them stay there. So for that, we're going to have a great customer service that will work on customer loyalty and great reporting system analysis. About customer loyalty, we think we're going to have some discounts on commissions or rewards that can be discussed in the future. To talk about financial projections, I'm going to give you some raw numbers. 12,000 for web page construction, 5 for marketing, 5 for tech support, and 2 or 3 for unplanned expenses. And this is the prediction for first year, 50 posts per day, then 20, then 25. Yeah, about future. I want to emphasize task insurance, which was an issue previously. So we think that we cannot take the responsibility for someone we don't know, but if someone wants their delivery to be insured, then our employees have to do it, and it would be the other way around. And to talk about mobile app, we think that it is necessary because it's uncomfortable to chat on the website format. And customer data analysis means that we're gonna look into what categories are more popular, what are not, what should be added, and what should be removed. That's enough. Thank you.
Did you check if there is anything similar in some other markets?
Yeah, the financial projection was from Test Rabbit's information. When I read the interview with the founder, she had not exactly the same idea. She was having the dinner with his husband, and at the same time he had to buy the dog food. So she had an idea, but the Task Rabbit is only about household care. Maybe she saw the tendency and trends to that. She has competitors now, but only in the household care segment.
Where is that?
In the United States, yeah, and in Canada also. Yeah.
I would have to beg to differ on only the household care. I mean, if you look at Crunchbase, they've got already 11. Aladoma, Udo, College Labor, Ernesto, GigaWalk, Handy, Job Runners, Porch, Thumbtack, ViaTask, Zask. And from Estonia, there's, they just pitched me, this is the positive news, Go Work a Bit. From Estonia, they started 2 years ago. They have, I think, 2 million revenue already, and they're 20% profitable. So it is possible, even in a tiny country, to do this kind of a business.
Estonia is even smaller than Georgia.
Yeah, it's 1.3 million people in the whole country. And all of the business really takes place in Tallinn, which is 500,000 people. So it is possible to do, but your competition is going to be tough in terms of trying to move to other markets, because probably every country will have some version of this that you're going to go up against.
So this is, when you listen to all these different ones, the name tells me something about the product that I'm buying. I mean, in Georgia, obviously, this tells the Georgians something. But if you want to go outside of Georgia, it doesn't mean anything, right? So maybe think about that. I don't know. But if you're focusing on Georgia, it's perfect.
Yeah, I would suggest you stick with Georgia first. And then as everything here has its own specific staff and taxation, and with the liability and your role, and sort of to put the things in terms of the responsibility in the right low base, I would say.
What I wanted to add is the reason why there's so many of these competitors, and by the way, every one of those names that I just listed has received venture capital money. So therefore, these are smart people. They're not just throwing for no reason money at these. I'm sure everybody here recognizes society is changing.
Yeah.
The job market is changing. The gig economy, all this kind of stuff. These kinds of platforms are the future of how people will work.
So actually, it's very interesting, perfect, and the time-wise is appropriate, I would suggest, and the focus on the specific Georgian issues. And as you see, there is more profile companies. service. You know, the other guys are giving more profile on a certain niche of the service they are offering. Here is about everything. Yeah, there's nothing better than that. It's even better from the beginning. Later on, probably it will be divided like you have in the cycle. Physical labor, household, etc. But right now, it's everything in, and it's fine.
Yeah, I
So
think problem solving gives us this freedom.
I think pitch was very much appropriate, and it has a very much.
Might want to slow down a little bit.
So what?
Might want to slow down a little bit. Can you tell me how does it work if I'm an interested party to, so I'm a student, you approach me and say,
You
look,
want to do the task and
how does it, so I say I'm interested in.
Yeah, you apply, and there you will pop up with your name and.
This I understand, but does it pay me? Like if I say, okay, I'm interested in serving at parties or something like a waiter job, right? Because the tips are good. Then whenever something like that comes up, then you get a notification.
But I think if you have like 4 stars already, or something like that, not to everyone.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I remember in your previous presentation, you said that you will set up certain circulation of information already in the approved suppliers or something like that. That it works. First couple of pushes. Well, generally, I think it's a.
There should be warning also, no sex.
No
Are
you sure?
We're gonna have to.
I don't know if I missed now, but probably I don't know. How much money you need to that happening?
Yeah, we have $25,000.
Very dollars?
Yeah.
You need that.
$25,000 up to what stage?
Up to like starting actually.
What do you mean starting? I mean, 200
if I
inquiries per
started-
day, 100 inquiries per day for within the 3 months or 6 months, or I mean, you have to elaborate good website. That's one thing. You have to elaborate also certain certification of the not certification of the certain suppliers should be already volunteered. You don't have to bet on everybody.
7,000, 8,000.
Yeah. So how else? Yeah. Also.
So do you have to go out and hire someone to create the platform, or can you do it yourself?
No, we have to hire.
You have to hire.
That's good. That's not very Georgian approach. This is good approach,
No, but I'm
it's
just.
better you hire someone because everyone tries to do everything
Confidence in
No, I'm just asking whether they're computer savvy. That's my question. Yeah. Are you good enough in
What are
programming
your
that you
core
can
competencies?
provide?
We're business administration students.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just helped to create the design of the website.
There are
ideas and it, but we need, of course, we need programs.
Okay, so $25,000 you think it's enough for that?
Maybe.
How it is, any consistent, 7,000, 8,000 would be enough for the
Platform.
Yeah, we had 12 for that.
Wow.
Okay, 12. Then
I can't.
And then 5.
I don't know.
Not a platform?
I have no idea.
No, it will cost 5,000, 7,000.
So we can build a platform.
Okay, guys, I think it's we are in a reasonable in finances as well. What do you think?
Huh?
What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So the next presenter is a team of Maria Musishvili, Georgi Mikeladze, Mikeladze, Tina, Sobieshvili, Kevin. Pardon me? Pardon, sorry, ამის მერე თქვენ ხართ უკვე. და წყლის ამბავიც ის არის.
Okay, let's start. So to start with the name of our project, it's EPI. In English, it's kind of idle, but it's connected to the mythology. Like in Georgia, if you wanted to create, they were having for the gods this kind of statues of the Epis, and they were worshiping you. So the idea is coming from the Epi. itself, and it starts like this. We want to create first augmented reality intellectual-based games for mobile phones, for Androids and iOS. So to go for the game insights, we're gonna start. So it's gonna be the regular game. You're gonna start with logging in with a Facebook account or with your Google account, and you're starting to create your own character. We are thinking we are having two options right now: the character to be personalized and to be alike to the person who is creating, or the second to be connected to the gods, to be look alike to the gods. So these are two options. We're gonna start, and as the market, we saw that the most demand is the people to see themselves as characters. So you're starting to create your character, visually based person, and you start to play. Let's start what's happening in the game, inside of the game. So to start, it's like divided with the levels. From 1 to 10 level, you're gaining knowledge and answering random questions about the whole world. And after you reach the 10 level, you're starting to become KP, so KP of your district. When you become the KP of your district, you have worshippers, the people who are battling with you. So this goes like this. There is a rating of your district, and the person who is having the biggest, let's say, experience is the KP of that district, and the people who are in this district, they have chance to challenge this KP and to take their place. So this goes like this. After 20 level, the district leaders, KPs are fighting with each other, and after the district, there comes the cities battling with each other, and then comes to the countries. So let's go for some details. We had some questions, some problem basically, which was connected to how you're gonna balance the world. Like you can't just divide world by the square meters or something, because there's a different density in New York and in CBC, for example. So we approach this for every 500,000 people. There's gonna be one district. For instance, in CBC, there are the 3 districts to fight with each other, and the New York, with this amount of people living there, they're gonna have their own district. So how the leveling up gonna go? The first one is like, the next one. It's gonna go with the questions, okay? The first 10 levels, it's a random questions coming to you only, but after 10 level, one-to-one battles are going on. So the player who is online is battling to another player, next please, and the experience goes like this. For instance, if you're challenging the person higher rank to you, you're getting the bigger experience if you win, but if you lose, you're minus points, and you're staying at the same level. So we are trying to balance this as much as possible to make the game balanced. Next. So this is the first concept art of our God of Knowledge. We are starting to create already models of the players as well, and this is for this project painting. Actually, this is a God of our knowledge. Yeah. So how the battle's gonna go on? By the districts, as you see here, for example, one district of CBC, you're going to have the 2 KPs of the different districts, and they're going to start to battle with each other with their knowledge. What we are trying to do right now is to have the people opportunity to represent themselves by their knowledge and be on the levels by their knowledge as well. Then comes the payment system. So in a game, they're going to be like this. There are going to be different ways to pay, to buy stuff. So there are possibilities to buy prompts and the visual updates for your character, as well as the hints for the questions, and so on. And now to go on, where is the money and the most important part, I guess. So let's start. For the costs, for the best scenario, we are approximately getting $45,000 for developing, design, and publishing and marketing for the final phase to have the application form to launch. And the most important, let's start from the revenue. And I'll try to make it as efficient as possible. So this is the numbers from the 10,000 people, users, downloaders who are using the application. The first one is from the advertisements for 10,000 people. So not to go into math, as you see, it's approximately for one ad. The income for person to be in the application for 5 minutes is $100. But if they're going to be more than 15 minutes, it's starting from the $300. So this is only with one advertisement in the application. So you can place 3 for advertisement. It's going to be multiplied to the number. But I took the 10,000 and to multiply easier then. Then the second part comes from the in-game purchases with the 80% or 70% income for the company and for the game on itself. The game show and the game to say that from all the users and its actual statistics, 8% of the players are actually buying things, and the average number for whole number for 10,000 for one user, it's coming for iOS is $1, and for Android $0.43. So if we are saying that the 10,000 average user is going to have application, the income for the company only for the in-game purchase is going to be $308. But what scaling are we talking right now? Because this number is coming from the 10,000 users only. 10,000 users is pretty low, I guess, because any application can get that much users, and this comes for the scaling. What we are planning and what our scale gonna be is the monthly users of 80,000 people in the whole world, and let's do some maths. From the advertisements and in-game purchases, after the 6 months launch up and after all the bugs fixes, the monthly revenue of the company gonna be $8,400 approximately for 80,000 users. For the company to be income, approximately $7,000. What we are seeing that this is really possible. This is the actual problem. You asked this question a lot during the previous presentations. What is the problem of what you're doing? So to start with, the first one is there is just 3 or 4 augmented reality-based games in the world right now, which is like on the base. They're having the let's say developers, and they're working like really hard on the finances. And there are only 3 or 4, and I can actually say with my with all my trust that this is really a small amount. 3 or 4 big games for augmented reality is the market you can take. The market you can go on and start actually investing and getting money from. The second one, what we are going is the social responsibility we are taking with the game, and this is only not the game for the having fun, but it's almost a game to get the knowledge. So somehow we are reaching the really important part for us to have the social responsibility to people to gain the knowledge by the game. Yeah, the canvas model, without it can't be. I actually talked almost about everything. This is some basics. As you see, the concept of the in-game is already exists. Yeah. I guess that was it. I'm waiting for the questions.
There are particular games. Can you, because in the presentation you show us the logos and
okay. In the previous presentation, I showed this. This is 2 Pokemon Go and Ingress.
And we researched something there.
Even after the second time, I didn't get the main point. What's the local? So there is a certain category of games called locality.
Location
Not
based.
only education. Location.
Yeah.
For example, Pokemon Go is a location-based game. So that means you have to walk, for example, and use your phone and do you do this in this one or not?
No,
the only locality thing which I now understand is that you say I live in Vaque and you compete with the guy who says he lives in San Francisco.
No, I can explain this. I'm sorry it wasn't in the presentation to make it clear. For the people who are registering in the first time in the game, it already shows the location of the person who is right now in the city or something. While he is in the city, for instance, in Tbilisi, he is showing that he is in Tbilisi, but he is choosing in which district he is living at that point. For example, let's take 3 districts, and one of them is Vaque. So he's showing that he's in Vaque, and now on he's representing Vaque only, and playing with the players who are listed in the Vaque.
So it's not about moving or anything.
No, it's not about moving.
So it's just about where you are.
But it's possible that in development it's possible to move with the districts. But it's the concept of the.
What's the idea of the locality?
Yeah, exactly.
Why is it important to fix or to announce? I'm now standing in the market. That's the point which I do not understand. So why can't I say just find the person to compete with and do it? So what's the reason of fixing that I'm standing now in Abashi district? I don't get it. Because tomorrow I can go to Alexu district. So so what?
It's not showing, and I have not presented it as I guess. Like it's not like you are walking and playing it, but it's like this. For example, in Vaque, we're gonna have the.
It's a regional competition.
Yeah.
It's nothing to walk and be active in that.
Why?
Just because.
I'm there because I'm a tourist. I'm from London. Now I'm so.
Okay. In
So
the Pokemon Go, this was like this. In the city, like in the places where like the attractions or something, they're gonna place the lures. So when you're gonna go with the augmented reality the phone like this, the location gonna show where the lure is. So when you show like this, you're gonna see the character with the idol of the place.
So if I'm a tourist from London and I arrive in Tbilisi, I will still be playing in London, I guess.
Yes. At the beginning, like that.
But this would be interesting if I was a tourist in Tbilisi, that once I arrive in Tbilisi, I can start playing the players in Tbilisi.
Yeah, but it's gonna be on the higher priorities. For example, if you're representing like your city or your district, that's a possibility to. Yeah, we already mentioned like districts can fight. Like if you're KP of your district in New York and you're coming up to the city, you have access of your district.
Okay.
So it's possible. But if you're like under 10 level, you can't. But if you're after 10 level, you can go, travel, see who is KP of that place and try to battle him.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you the same question as I asked the others. Who's going to develop the software around
Yeah. As you know, most of the augmented reality big games that have been developed or developed by Niantic.
By who?
By Niantic. Those Pokemon Go was developed by them, Ingress was developed by them as well, and many other augmented games which are not as big. So we are thinking that Niantic will be a very good partner in developing this, in publishing this game. However, the developers can be hired like very experienced and good developers that already have some experience in developing augmented reality games.
So you want to sell the idea to the end?
It's one option, let's say.
It's one option.
All right. In case of you don't. I mean, there are nobody here who can develop such. Let's say make it very much local. Let's say maybe Georgia. Yeah, because I know Georgia. Let's say and then you probably get I don't know how much you can get. 10, 20, 50,000 of players. What do you think? Because it's very limited market. It would be very exclusive
Yes,
based on its Georgia. So let's say, can you get the 50,000 people?
Yeah,
Within some time?
I guess way more. In Georgia, it's gonna be way more. The reason
Maybe
is
more.
Yeah.
May I answer this question for instance? With this kind of intellectual games, let's say AR, augmented reality games or something, but it's this kind of like global intellectual games, a lot of Georgians are involved in it. For instance, we mentioned it's really other game, which is like popular. It's a Facebook game, which is popular among the students and young people in the world. And I must say that for one year, the Georgian clan, let's say, was on the first place in this global ranking because a lot of people, not like 50,000, but lots more people are playing it.
Okay, perfect. Because you have a comment about the.
I'm worried about your business model calculations because my experience working with portfolio companies is the CPM, in other words, per thousand is up to $10 for 1,000, views. Yeah.
1 to 4.
No, 1 to 4 is the usual, but I'm giving the extra leeway for.
You got the overhead.
Yeah. Best case scenario.
Yeah, $10 per 10,000.
So even if you have 100,000 people playing here, that's not a lot of money. I mean, we're talking about a and this is, okay, do I understand correctly? This is a trivia game, right? It's a trivia game that's been modernized with the way it looks.
Sure.
Okay, one more question. I don't understand why I would pay for hints if I've got Wikipedia or whatever for free here.
Yeah.
It's like,
Or internet. I mean,
So
There's a time on it, right?
The PvP battle's gonna go online, so you get 5 seconds or 4 seconds to answer the question.
okay, so you don't have time to type in.
That was the question I asked.
No time.
But that becomes a pay, okay, that leads into another problem in game design, is pay to win is what they call it.
We can balance it.
It can be balanced.
The income from in-game purchases, we approximately took 10 or 15% from the hints, but the main point was the skins and the looks, what the people are paying for mostly. This is the actual statistics. I don't know which type of games you've been developing, but in the games, like in the playing games, role games, there are people are spending a whole amount of money just to look cool.
I agree, but you cannot use statistics from like World of Warcraft or something like that.
No.
It's completely
Unreal.
inapplicable to a mobile game, mobile trivia game. You know, the people aren't going to buy swords and all that kind of stuff.
That's why we show the statistics for each person to have approximately 50 or 60 cents to spend. When in the big games it's about $5 or $6. So this is scaled with not the big gaming, but it's scaled on applications. It was based on the Pokemon Go income and yeah.
And one other thing, in gaming, I don't invest into games because it's so hard. It's like it's a taste thing. It's like movies, right? Like investing into movies is quite hard to figure out what's going to be the hot thing next year.
Irrational.
Sometimes taste. It's a matter of taste and you know that kind of thing, and style and passion. But I understand to really make money, my friends that have games, you have to grind down on the 2% of the population, which is almost exactly the same 2% that is usually hooked on gambling. They have a medical problem. They can't stop. Okay, that's where all
mentally.
Yes, mental problem. They're hooked because they need the hit, the epinephrine, the norepinephrine, serotonin to get the wins, and that's like 2 to 3% of the playing population. That math still, you know, if you're going to do a Georgian-based game, even if you say there's going to be 100,000 players, that's not a lot of money still.
That's why they want to be the nation.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
why.
Then you go against every other trivia game.
Yeah, basically in Georgia there is a stereotype that people don't like to pay for games. However, there are still people who would, and that's why we decided to make a worldwide game so it can be profitable, because most Western country players are willing to pay even for cosmetics. And you mentioned the gambling. There was actually like an epidemic for Valve when there was a gambling epidemic for CS:GO, where people were buying keys and buying chests just to lose money and just want that tiny chance to get something good. That can be implemented here, so that you can get chests and you can get rarity-based skins, so that it's not that good to find.
I think you need to put that in.
Well, this is intellectual game.
Yeah.
And then I would say the colors or the techniques or let's say ways of techniques to win is limited, because what's intellectual? I mean, what kind of color you got if you add yellow to blue? Yeah, green. I mean, number of questions are not really limited, but somehow quite, because when you are talking about the skill games, anybody who is perfectly skilled can be made to push the button down or push the button up. In other words, there is an unlimited, endless possibility to win and lose. You know, especially to lose. You are actually winning or losing, not the winner. Yeah, in the game, in the gambling like that. So I don't know. I mean, is there enough algorithms, intellectual algorithms, to ask and they receive the answers and the questions around the world? Maybe there will be some certain places. Huh?
There are many questions.
Yeah, but the trivia questions, for example, are also protected by intellectual property. In terms of the questions that are in Trivial Pursuit, you can't just copy, you know, those games. You have to have your own.
What I mean is the trivial questions. The questions will be contradictory. Like if someone will ask, you know, what's about the high-speed Kensington? Can you buy some stupid stuff or not? I mean, to preserve. I mean, when you have a skills game, it's different. It's a skills. It's just, you know, skills. And when you are going to intellectual level, the questions can be wow. And especially, and what I mean is could be stuck somewhere.
But it's possible to make.
This thing is, the questions must can be submitted then later in some way from the players as well. That's how this.
Sale reports, there's a mistake.
But look, I'm sure that the ones who made Pokemon Pro, they had similar type of pitch at some early stage, right? And if I'd heard that, I would have said that's the most stupid thing I've ever seen. But you know, it became a craze. Although it is really very, very difficult at this particular stage for anyone to say, is this going to be a hit or not? It is very, very difficult. I mean, I play a game that came with my phone, which is like to guess logos.
Yeah.
And I love that game. But I don't know if it's a craze, and obviously there's no monetization on it. But you know, you could be onto something. I don't know. But I'm sure that it's exactly like you're saying. It's very difficult to raise money for these things because it is.
And also, you need to
it is a
judge.
gamble,
You
right?
need to judge. You know, one Japanese will ask another American, "What about nigiri, sushi?" Answer is never appropriate because look, who can judge it? Who is the right and not? So you will have a universal internet somewhere there who will judge everybody from any question. I mean, it's a very difficult thing, you guys. You have to think about it because it's really someone would be judging that.
There's even been, sorry.
That's what I said.
But there's been competitions. I know in Estonia there was one competition where the guy ended up winning like 30,000 euros, but he answered it wrong.
Yeah.
It turned out later that the scientists looked at the question and really went back and studied, and the answer was different.
Did you have to give the money back?
They didn't, because it would have been a huge fucking show, TV show.
Who invented rabbit? American answer will be Marconi, and the Russians will say the Popov or whatever it was. But you need judge into it somewhere else. I mean, it just
That was a good.
Yes, he can be a judge. 50 cents per question? Yes, no, yes.
I have to pay 50 cents.
What's the answer?
We had the same problem that the questions were so broad that it would be very unfair because the member of that nationality knew the answer and others did not. Therefore, they implemented this I like, I don't like strategy where you can break the question, and if it gets like very bad, you just remove it from the code completely. So that's all.
Yeah, that's a way to filter, obviously.
Yes, the finish is clear, but you have to think about going international because you have a lot of problems there. Because the question in history it will be inappropriate to
But it's
actually
a question.
not now, but maybe